Hi guys! I know we can't use our classrooms, but we can still learn English, right? Today we're going to talk about the first conditional. So, if we can't use our classrooms, we will learn English online. Let's see. Let's check some example sentences first. If I get this job, I will be very happy. If it rains tomorrow, Jack will stay at home. I will be very angry if Stephen doesn't call me. So as you can see, there are some words that are highlighted in these sentences, like for example, if, which is red, and will, which is blue. Let's see why. I will call you if I will have any questions. Something doesn't seem right here. So if we cross this out, then we'll get the correct sentence. I will call you if I have any questions. Let's check out some more examples. If I take the bus to the cinema, I will be late. If I'm late, Alice will get angry. And if Alice gets angry, the evening will be ruined. I'll get a taxi. So in all of these sentences, there are two parts. One part starts with if. So we have if and present simple. And this is so-called if clause. This is the condition that should be met. And the second part, will be late, will get angry, will be ruined, actually is the main clause, and it provides the description of the main activity. So will or won't plus infinitive is used here. Let's see some more examples. If I win the lottery, I will buy a car, which is completely the same as I will buy a car if I win the lottery. If I'm ill, I won't go to work. Or I won't go to work if I'm ill, which means that these two parts of conditional sentences are interchangeable, which means that you can start the sentence with if and then put comma after it and use the main clause, or you can start the sentence with the main clause like I will buy a car and then use if clause without comma. No comma necessary in between. So why do we use the first conditional sentences anyway? We use it to talk about possibilities in present or future. We can use if, so we already know that, but we can also use when. And what's the difference? Let's see. If I go shopping, I will buy you a new pen, which means that I'm not really sure I'll go shopping, and that's just the condition. And if the condition is met, then the main activity will be fulfilled. But if I say, when I go shopping, I will buy you a new pen, this means that I will definitely go shopping. We're just interested in time when this will happen. So, here's an overview of all the rules that you should know about using the first conditional. As I said, there's the condition, which is if clause and present simple used in if clause, if we work hard, comma, and the result is the main clause, which here is future simple. The first conditional is used to express a real or very probable situation in the future. It refers to things that will possibly happen in the future if a condition is met. The first conditional is common when we are talking about possible plans, promises, warnings, threats, or for persuading someone. So, for the condition, we use present simple. For the result, we use future simple. And here are some extra examples. If I go to Italy next week for work, I'll visit the Colosseum. If I have time tomorrow, I will help you. If you touch that wire, you will get an electric shock. So, here you have some sentences to practice the first conditional. You should use the correct form of the verbs in brackets. And since you have this presentation on our school site, you can practice it by yourselves. And for now, you can just see that I've provided the answers for you. When you try to do it first, then you can check the answers, the key. Some more practice. There are some interesting pictures and there are some interesting situations. So your task is to think and write down how would you make sentences out of these situations. if someone tops up your balance by mistake, if a neighbor drills the way on Saturday morning, if you break mom's brand new iPhone, if you wear different socks, if you spill paint, if you oversleep. Or there are some main parts of the sentences which actually give you the information about the activity that will happen if the condition is met, and your task here is to provide a certain condition to complete the sentences. Again, you should write them down and then try to practice more. You will fail the test if you will laugh to tears, if you will gain weight, if there will be a surprise for you, if you will have insomnia, if you will have an unpleasant conversation, if. Again, there are some more examples and some more situations and questions that you should use in order to practice the conditional sentences. Remember, the point of each exercise is actually to make you use the right form correctly and speak as much as possible. So what will you do if it rains? Think about it. What will you do if there's a heavy snowfall? What will you do if there's a traffic jam? What will you do if a shark attacks you? So there's left and right column, and the parts of the sentences should be matched. Again, try to do it by yourselves at home, and then you can check the answers. Some more examples. Again, there are also some pictures. You can read it by yourselves and try to analyze to check how the parts of the sentences are mixed and used. And there are also some examples, some more sentences for you to practice. So, I will get really happy if I'll start to learn French if the weather is nice, if I win some money, I will. If I don't have breakfast tomorrow morning, I will drive to work if. Remember, try to have as creative ideas as possible. Let's think now of possible difficulties in the following situations. Look at the example of the dialogue. I'm going on safari to Africa. What will you do if the wild animals chase you? I will run away. Now try to imagine some other situations and try to role-play the dialogues with your friend or just to write it down by yourself. I'm planning a barbecue next weekend. So, what can be the possible difficulty in this situation? I'm going skiing next week. I'm going to the airport on Friday. I'm going on a Caribbean cruise. Something that's very related to the first conditional is the Murphy's Law. I'm sure that you've already familiar with it, but anyways, I'm going to read what is it actually about. So, if you change queues in a supermarket, what will happen? The queue you were in before will move more quickly. You know what will happen because there's a law of life that says if something bad can happen, it will happen. It's called Murphy's Law. And it took its name from Captain Edward Murphy, an American airplane engineer from the 1940s. He was investigating why planes crashed, and not surprisingly, he got a reputation for always thinking of the worst thing that can happen in every situation. So you get it now, right? Let's play a bit with this Murphy's Law. There are some situations and the sentences, actually the conditions are given, and there are some main activities provided over there. Again, try to do it by yourselves, and then after you get your own ideas, you can check the answers provided in the presentation. Now, let's think about how to end these sentences according to Murphy's Law. When you're at home, if you wash your car, what will happen? If you look for something you've lost. What about your social life? If you wear something white, then? If someone near you is smoking, or when you go shopping, if you find something in a shop that you really like, if you take something that doesn't work back to a shop, or while you are in a certain mean of transport, if you stop waiting for a bus and start walking, if you get to the station and see a train leaving. Be creative, remember. Okay, some more practice. What will you do if you go to these countries? So there's the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, Christ the Redeemer, Mount Fuji, Tokyo, etc., etc. So try to make sentences using the first conditional. If it's about India, then you can say, if I go to India, I'll visit Bollywood. So try to make at least 5 sentences and to write them down in your notebook. And then you can email me and we can check them, as we've already used to doing. There are again some pictures and again the examples that you can use to make first conditional sentences. And if you talk about traditions and superstitions again, then you can use first conditionals. So what will happen if the first butterfly you see in the year is white? Then there's the famous superstition about mirrors, about black cats' leathers throwing a cone in a fountain, etc., etc. Try to complete the sentences by yourselves again, and then you can check the answers provided in the presentation. Hope that you enjoyed the presentation. For any further questions, please email me. You know my email. Stay tuned.